This is my second version of the Theremino PMT adapter. I acquired spectrum of granite overnight, and now I will demonstrate how it works. I use audio recorder called Edit to record pulses and see that they don't exceed limits. And for testing I use americium source smoke detector. Gammas go also through the metal enclosure, and inside the box there is actually a rat's nest. There is the Theremino PMT adapter, which makes high voltage, 720 volts for this PMT. Voltage is measured by 400 mega ohm resistor, 4 times 100 mega ohms in series, and it is also battery powered. Battery is charged from USB, and 5 volts are made out of battery voltage. And here we have a USB sound card. It appears that USB sound card also needs stable voltage, 5 volts. If this voltage fluctuates, then recorded signal intensity shifts. And for calibration I use potassium nitrate and americium. First test is to measure potassium 40 peak at 1.46 mega electron volts, and it is from potassium nitrate fertilizer. And there is a second smaller peak, about 200 kilo electron volt less in energy. It is Compton backscattering peak. Then one can put granite, stone, and measure uranium and thorium and their daughters. This was the most active granite stone which I could find on the seaside, and the measurement was done overnight. Now we move to test with the americium 241 smoke detector. To attenuate it was sent through copper plate, and we see that peaks at 24 and 60 keV do not match the scale which was calibrated with potassium 40. Activity can be quite high, and at high activity we start to see another peak, third peak, which is because of pileup, because two pulses come at the same time and overloads the PMT and MCA. And then I noticed that if I move americium source along the scintillator, I can slightly shift the peak. This can be explained as not all the light reaches the PMT. And then it was interesting to observe that americium source backplate blocks weakest americium line at 24 kiloelectron volt, and only at 60 keV line gets through. Then I also tried X-ray fluorescence, and it was not very successful. I put copper plate between americium source and detector, and a small peak appeared which should be around 7 kiloelectron volts, characteristic line of copper. I could not get better results with this crystal. And to record such small energies, MCA microphone input gain was increased to 20. This is my first version of the Theremino PMT adapter. I use coil from fluorescent lamp, and output goes to iPhone. Older iPhones still have audio jack and we see counts. And if I move stone more closer, then it will go to about 1.5 times more. Scintillator is in old electrolytic capacitors enclosure, which has thin walls, 0.5 millimeter thickness, and everything is supplied from USB battery pack. So program GegerBot shows increase of counts because of this granite stone. Usually detector gives about 25 counts per second, and yeah, that's it. I plan to put everything in this nice box, and also we can use audio speaker to listen to counts. My first experience with scintillation started with getting old photo multiplier FEU 110 Soviet made, which is good for sodium iodide crystals, but I don't have these crystals. So I heard from colleagues that aspirin from drugs can be extracted and crystallized and used as scintillator, but it is quite lightweight and it does not stop high energy quanta. Maybe for X-rays it's okay. And then I tried plexiglass plastic scintillator, which is undoped, and I could see Cherenkov light pulses from muons, a couple pulses per minute. On oscilloscopes they had quite large amplitude compared to thermal noise. And then I was searching around if somebody has scintillation crystals, and the hospital donated all the positron emission tomography scanner with a lot of crystals and PMTs. I thought that these are cesium iodide crystals, but they appear to be so-called LISO crystals from density measurements and from spectrometer, USB spectrometer with visible light. And these crystals can be taped together, and I use Teflon tape, aluminum foil. And first try was to use photo multiplier with divider as it was inside. Here is the model Photonis XP2040 photo cathode, and with positive voltage supply, then need two cables. And divider has resistors 500 kilo ohms, which are not enough for Theremino driver. For high voltage, there are high voltage cables, connectors, which look like BNC, but they are for 3 to 5 kilovolts. And then I removed resistors with hot air and Dremel mill, and soldered the divider with 10 mega ohm resistors. And now PMT is good for Theremino driver. Here is schematic of original PMT and modified for Theremino. I tried to glue crystals together with northern adhesives, optical UV hardening polymer glue, but I'm not sure if it is good or bad. Another crystal I just put together and taped with white Teflon tape. Well, I also tried more fancy crystal arrangement and glued them with NOAA light hardening polymer glue. Here you can see measured luminescence spectrum that allows to say that it is LISO crystal.